You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The League After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The League After Show.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this.
Such a cheery song. Oh, come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Being is for doing, and we are here doing another post-game wrap-up of The League on FXX for you at AFTERBUZZ TV. This is episode 7, season 5, and it was called The Bringer. Why did I not remember it being called The Bringer?
You have so much stuff on your mind all the time.
I have,
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on you right now.
extensive notes.
I don't. Hello.
We are bringing you guys a really quick wrap-up because AFTERBUZZ is just booming with shows, and we are.
That's right.
Had another show on our heels in here, so we're gonna wrap this up super fast for you and just go over the good points.
I think it'll be a lot of fun trying this out.
I think let's do it.
30 minutes sometimes can be kind of long.
I know. We've got 15. Let's go.
And you are. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Well, you know what? Don't tell me what to do, okay? I'm Lauren Leonelli, and we have here.
My name is Michael Durjen. How are you doing, guys?
And it's just gonna be us two. We're gonna go for it.
That'd be awesome.
So we start off with Pete and Ruxin talking about they're not playing the full team. I don't know a lot about football. I know the basics, and especially when it comes to having your little fantasy leagues, boys.
Right.
Which actually sounds really fun to me. I do want to be part of a fantasy football league now after watching the show. But
terrific.
So he couldn't play all his players. So then he was trying to say, Ruxin, I'm just letting you know. And he's like, well, I'm not going to play all my players because then if you still beat me, then I'll look like an idiot. Yeah,
that would never happen in real life. And in real life, you can't play all your players. That's your bad. You are stuck. You will not win.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
okay.
No, nobody's gonna.
What if you have like really, really good players and the other person has really, really bad?
I had Priest Holmes in circa 2002, and I destroyed. But that was all it took. I never actually did my lineup one time the entire season. I won first place.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's rare. Priest Holmes doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, I don't know who that, but okay, I believe you, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
And of course they're making fun of poor Andre as per the usual. He's going back to his stand-up comedy.
Awesome.
And maybe you can jump in a little on that. And he said, he failed the first time, so he's going because they're like, didn't you already do that? And he's like, yeah, I got to go back again.
Yeah, he does stand-up comedy. You know that.
Yeah, the actor.
In real life,
well, of course they all do. I think, right?
They all do. Well, not all of them. Yeah, basically. Well, one or two of them don't do it well, I guess.
Well,
but for the most part, they all do it. Yeah. Definitely.
I would love to see that. We should go find that out.
Yeah, Steve Ranazizi's up all the time, and you can always catch Paul and the rest of them over at the UCB Theater in LA. They're
that's
in and
right.
out of there
They're
all day
always,
long.
Okay, yeah.
Especially,
we should all go.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
You know what we should do too? Next show, you guys will let you know where they're going to be in and around LA if you're in the area, and we'll.
Are you familiar with the term Bringer Show?
No.
Bringer Show is a show that you go to. It's a stand-up comedy show that you go to where you have to bring people to be able to get stage time. So it's a bringer show.
Oh, I didn't know that was a term.
They do bringer shows in the main room of the comedy store.
The more you know. I'm always the friend. I can't even tell you how many stand-up comedy nights I've been to, and not all of them are good, but some of them are, and I have been a bringery.
Oh, really? You've done stand-up?
No, I mean I've been I've been the person that you bring.
A bringette or something?
A bringette, whatever. I don't know what the terms are, but so yeah, and that makes sense too. Plus, then you got to get people in there, and you're on someone's list. Oh, I totally see how it works now.
Everything makes sense, right?
You just totally blew my mind.
Well, yeah, as a comic, as you're coming up, you have to run into that. You're dealing with a situation with Paul Scheer that or in the show, obviously Andre, that he is terrible at stand-up, so he does bringer shows. So a lot of times you'll have terrible comics do bringer shows.
Right.
No offense. In the stand-up community, you guys know I'm not the best yet, but I'll say a thing or two.
That's how you start. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I've never done a bringer show, and I don't plan on it.
And it doesn't surprise me that Andre isn't good at this.
Yeah.
I mean, he tries so hard.
He's hilarious. I was cracking up.
Oh, he is hilarious in the I'm laughing at you way.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Jenny joining her.
Oh, and you brought up a good point for the stand-up, for him talking through, or his stand-up teacher, Natasha.
Oh, yeah, Natasha Leggero.
Yeah, that was really good.
You guys watched the James Franco roast. She was the teacher there, going over the, this points of how to, set up a joke and tell a joke and all of that. And she was basically just pointing out, dude, you suck.
And I'm in love with her. I'm in love with you.
You're like, Mike's assuming she's watching. I'm in love with you. Making eyes to the camera. And then also on the side, we've got Jenny and her lucrative ladies club. They're like an investment group. And of course, she feels the need to make Kevin, AKA Kip, all those million names that she gave, like Anderson, Thompson, Swanson the Third, or whatever she said. Was hilarious. And so, she's kind of trying to fit in there.
She threw an Aryan in there.
Oh, she did throw an Aryan
I was
in
like,
there.
what was that?
That was good. I liked that. So we've got a couple things happening.
How did you feel about the Lucrative Ladies Club? Is that something you'd want to be a part of?
No, totally not.
Really?
It's boring. Unless there was wine involved. Then
there's always wine involved in Lucrative Ladies Club.
Oh, that's right. They were drinking wine.
Yeah.
They were drinking wine. Well, so we'll talk about the Lucrative Ladies Club really quick.
Oh, good.
They invite Jenny to be a part of it, and so they decide to come to her house. She's going to have the meeting at her house.
Terrible
but
idea.
all of the league is there that day, and they're in the garage. And on a side note, we see that Kevin has his new weightlifting gear.
Yeah.
And he's got the I love that when he had the journal, and it's like, how do you feel? And then he instead of just being like, I'm tired or whatever, answering the question physical wise, he went emotionally my wife, da 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 da. That was so funny.
No, honestly, I'll be real with you. When Kevin was filling out the form for his height and his weight and everything like that,
when he was
that's just a typical guy right there.
Yeah, he was
just so you know, 6'3".
Yeah, 6'3", 162, or
Yeah.
whatever it was. So God.
And I just want to let every girl out there know, when a guy tells you his height, he's absolutely lying. Unless he's legitimately really tall, then he won't. But if a guy's 5'10", you better expect him to say 6 foot.
5'10" and under, they're gonna give themselves a couple inches.
Yeah.
And why is it so funny? Guys always lie and say they weigh more, and girls always lie and say they weigh less. And it's so funny too. I hate when dudes are like,
there's a lot of taboo
man,
stuff.
I have not been working out. I am losing so much weight.
How much do you weigh, Lauren?
Boo-hoo. First of all, I'll slap you from across the table. And second of all, it's just so opposite. It's funny. So anyway,
you can ask me my height. I'm 6 foot.
We see him. We see him, Kevin, being that guy you're talking about, kind of lying, fibbing through things. It's funny.
Kip. How do you like the name Kip?
Kip, love it. So
I do too. That's a very regal name.
So snotty.
So snotty.
So she's got to keep
South African snotty.
Jenny's got to keep all these guys in there, and of course Taco sneaks out, and all the ladies always love Taco. So he's in there. He's talking about his Taco Corp, and they're like, "Oh, they're kind of into
textile industry.
They're fooled.
P-bibs.
They're totally fooled by him." And then we'll flash back over to Natasha Leggero and the coaching with Andre and the other students in the class, when she's like, you need to find your thing, and he's telling the black girl, well, you got a thing, and she's like, well, what are you trying to say? Oh, because I'm black. And he's like, well, you got a thing. And it's actually true, though. You do need a thing. You do
have
need
a thing. Everyone's got a thing. Yeah.
Right? So, Andre doesn't really have a thing. He just kind of gets made fun of all the time.
On a positive note, though, it's good that I was wrong for my last week's prediction. I said Taco Corp is through. I didn't realize Taco Corp is actually expanding into cloud technology.
Dude, I mean,
I'm pretty excited. I don't know. He was in the cloud right then in the room. I don't even know how that happened.
Well,
he's amazing.
I think that Taco is underestimated sometimes.
I think so. This cloud technology is the big high right now.
I mean, he might jump on that and come up with something very inappropriate.
Maybe
and
have some investors now.
Who knows? And the lucrative ladies, you never know. So now we find out that we need, we're going to this. They're the bringers. They've got to bring. Andre's got to bring people to his show.
Right.
So the lucrative ladies group goes with Taco. Everyone's there because they're kind of now they're intermixed. That they've met Taco and they're going through that. And Andre gets up. He starts going through the motions.
It's a tough set.
Bad.
Yeah.
He's bad as we could have imagined. And on a side note, a little bit in the beginning of the episode when Andre was outside kind of running his jokes and like trying to promote he's going to be at this comedy club, come see, there was a homeless guy that came up to him and kind of was giving him crap.
Right.
This homeless guy brings his homeless guy entourage
Right.
to the show.
Yeah, that's a
They're
bringer.
all sitting there. They've got the lucrative ladies club, and Jenny's waiting on Kip to come in there. He's late. He's doing stuff. He's got this like messy, dirty, bum-like outfit on. He
Yeah.
comes in. They're thinking he's part of this group. She's totally embarrassed. But meanwhile, the hecklers of this show is this homeless guy and his group, and they're just throwing stuff out there, and they're getting the laughs.
Yeah.
They're being funny. He's trying, and I'm sure when you're on stage, part of being a stand-up comedian is being able to also interact with the audience. Someone's going to yell something out, or you're going to look out there, you're going to see somebody, and you got to like work with it. Like, can I make
Yeah.
a joke about them?
Well, in a perfect world, I guess the idea behind stand-up comedy is that nobody would heckle, that nobody would talk to you.
Of course.
You know, the idea is that your jokes are so well done that everyone in the audience, regardless of their background or their orientation, will relate to you, which
Right.
normally doesn't happen. Most comics have their crowds.
Right.
But I will say that in particular towards the show, as a comic doing bringer shows, a lot of your sets are bad. You're
Yeah.
going to have some bad sets.
Yeah.
You're going to do some bad stuff. But the real truth about, I guess, stand-up is that it requires, I think the show shows you that because of Andre's character.
Yeah.
Anybody can try stand-up.
Right.
There's no
That's
protocol
true.
to who can or can't. But to be good at stand-up requires a lot of emotion going into your material.
Of
And I think the
course.
bums really showed us that.
They totally did. They were really passionate,
Yeah.
screaming that out. And it ended up kind of turning around because there was a new butt of the joke. Andre wasn't the butt of the joke anymore. Kevin was. And, kind of turned it around. Andre kind of stepped in and he brought it a little and took the attention off how bad he was doing.
Right.
And then finally, this is the moment where Jenny has to admit to the lucrative ladies club that this is Kip, her husband, and she kind of just says, I like him even though he's like a piece of shit, and
Yeah.
he's my husband, and I'm way more fun than you ladies anyway, and so she was done with them. And then we find out at the end that, to sum it all up, that, of course, I feel like Pete always screws people over in the league.
Yeah, Pete's a screwer.
He's like a liar. He's like a cheater.
Yeah,
pumpkin
last
eater.
episode he had Andre do all of his dirty
he's
cleaning and stuff. Yeah,
the maid. What
right.
was it called?
The butler. I don't know. It's like butler. or
Something maid. I
Yeah.
can't remember. If you guys remember, Bing it. Look it up and Bing it, and let us know.
Let us
And
know.
while you're on line
I don't
binging,
want to remember it.
you can go onto iTunes and rate and comment. Follow us. Tell a friend. Keep the conversation going.
Mhm.
And then also definitely pick up a copy of Serial Buddies while you're on iTunes as well. It's like $4.99.
Right.
Maria's in it. Christopher Lloyd, Kathy Lee Gifford, her daughter. I mean, the whole shebang. If you like this kind of funny,
Who's it
inappropriate
narrated
humor.
by?
Henry Winkler.
That's right. You usually say
I
that.
always
yeah.
do. I know he was
Mhm.
remembering my go-to. I interjected Kathy Lee Gifford's daughter this week, just in case you didn't know. She's in it, and yeah, it's really funny. If you like this kind of humor, you're gonna love that. So pick up a copy of that and rate and comment and tell us how we're doing. So anyway, Pete, cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah.
He admits that he used all his players, and of course, Ruxin gets screwed.
Mm-hmm.
He's, they mentioned, you don't. Just because you have the Sacco doesn't mean you have to be the worst. Well, he kind of just like is
Right.
always.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just like gets screwed over all the time.
Yeah, but nobody feels bad screwing him over. I think.
No.
I think
They should feel bad screwing Andre over because they always do, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I guess in honesty, they all screw each other over.
They
so
do,
often, you
and
know?
that's what makes it funny.
It is. It's really funny. It reminds me of my group of friends that I grew up with.
Well, I'll get to how to play some tips when we get into our news and gossip, but just to say, I say this probably every time, I laughed out loud like numerous times during
Right.
this. I love this show. I'm so glad I'm watching it now. I'm a newcomer to the league, and I am obsessed, and I love all the characters, and I totally want to be all of their friends, and I want to be in a fantasy football league with them.
It'd be terrific.
Although I would probably get made fun of and cry, but I would deal with it,
yeah,
right?
no, yeah,
You would too, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't cry. No,
Well, maybe by yourself.
no, I just don't cry. Don't know if that's possible.
Oh. That will be my goal until
Yeah.
until the season is over. All
I'm
right,
built
let's
like iron.
move into some
I lived
news.
in a Mexican family's garage for 6 months in Azusa, California when I moved here. Built like iron.
Oh my.
I used to mow their lawn and I used to take out their trash. I was their Mexican. It's
I'm
not a
not
big deal.
sure if that's a stand-up joke or real, but we'll get into
No,
that later.
No, everything's real in a good stand-up comic.
Okay. Let's get into some news and gossip, speaking of real.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, on Fuse.com, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, at the Comic-Con, like the most popular thing ever. The League cast was there, and Fuse was interviewing them on the red carpet, and they were asking them funny questions like, if you had like a song that somebody would have to sing every time they lost a game in the Fantasy Football League, what would it be? And, they were coming up with like, Paul Shearer, who is plays Andre, said like the Divinals, I touch myself. Like there were some pretty funny answers. Go on to fuse.com to see them all. Rafi was on there. He said the Titanic song he thought would be good. And then they also asked him other questions like, what song is their guilty pleasure, or what would their triumphant song be? A lot of them said like We Are the Champions by Queen. It's typical. But and it was funny to see them be still funny live, being interviewed and these personal kind of not super personal questions, but like personal questions for the actors. Definitely. It was funny to see. And then also on parade.com, if you guys want to make your own league like I do so badly, they give you 4 tips on how couples can compete in a fantasy football league from the creators of the league. There's ones on there like make sure to single out the winner and the loser, because they say if you give the winner the trophy, only one person is happy, but if you give a loser the sacco, everyone else is happy. Right. So, they say funny things like that, like, once your wife is... After you get over the fact that your wife is in the league, then she's just a league player. So you got to just either be jealous that you're losing or happy that you're winning, and just treat it like that. So there's some funny things on there too. If you're thinking about starting your own league, go on to parade.com for some tips. All right, let's do some predictions.
Sure, why not?
Oh gosh.
And now your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Man, I don't know what my predictions are. I feel like so much happens and they go so crazy and so off the wall. If I could be like Thaddeus and predict that they're going to bring in more football players, that would be a good prediction.
Right.
I still am sticking.
His predictions suck.
They do. Thaddeus, Homeland. We do Homeland together and they suck on that show
just
too.
Teasing.
No, we have a contest. That's why I said that. I feel like I'm still going on my Andre thing. Like I really want him to get a girlfriend. Oh, I'm going to predict this. At the end of the season, Rafi is coming back. I know that they killed him, but I feel
he's not dead for a year.
Oh, that's right.
He's just in LA right now doing all that stuff he was doing.
Oh shoot, I forgot that was the
future. But you could predict that he's gonna die, and you'd be right.
Okay, well then I'll predict that. Come on. Okay, well never mind.
Yeah.
But they're gonna bring him back to life somehow. That's not gonna be the end of him.
You never know.
I don't know.
You might have something going on.
Maybe.
I will say, honestly, I think that I'm really excited to see what happens with Taco Court. My prediction is that Taco is going to take his cloud business to the next level. I'm really excited about that. I want to see what happens, and I'd like to think that Andre's comedy career is not over.
Oh, jeez.
I'd like to think that he's got a couple more bringer shows in him, and as we all know as comics, the first show is not your last show.
That's right.
It's just the beginning of
getting
better.
He's got the bug.
Yeah.
He's got the bug. Well, we're going to check out and see when we can actually see these actors doing some stand-up in LA. We will let you guys know about that next week. Thank you for tuning in and listening and watching. I am your host, Lauren Leonelli. You can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Vine, and my website.
Boom. And my name is Michael Durjen. You can find me at @mmowgli on Twitter and at /mmowgli on Facebook. And I do stand-up all around town at different comedy clubs every single night. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. We'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.